Have you ever stopped to wonder where humanity's fascination with divinity truly began? Long before towering cathedrals or sacred scriptures, the human imagination reached for the heavens to make sense of existence. But who were the very first gods, and what do their stories reveal about the dawn of belief itself? Recorded in the earliest writings of civilization, these gods weren't just myths. They were the architects of human understanding. Their names might echo faintly now, but their legacy ripples through time, connecting us to the origins of spirituality. Through the faded ink of clay tablets and cryptic temple carvings, ancient cultures documented their reverence for forces they could not see but profoundly felt. These gods were the answers to the unanswerable. Who controls the sun and the rains? Who wields the power of creation and destruction? This video dives deep into these questions by uncovering the stories of the 5 oldest gods ever recorded. From Mesopotamia to Egypt, we'll explore how these deities emerged carrying the hopes, fears, and aspirations of their worshippers. You'll see how they not only shaped their own cultures, but laid the groundwork for the pantheons and religions that followed. Are you ready to meet the gods who gave humanity its first glimpses of the divine? Let's begin. Anu, the Sumerian sky. God. Our journey starts in Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization, with Anu, the Sumerian sky god. For the Sumerians living under a vast, unchanging sky, Anu was the embodiment of order and ultimate authority. He wasn't just a god. He was the celestial figurehead, the source from which all divine and mortal power flowed. Etched into clay tablets around 3100 BCE, Anu's story is one of distant majesty. He was the king of gods, the one who established the cosmic order, assigning the heavens, earth, and underworld their proper rulers. Yet Anu himself often remained aloof, an ultimate arbiter who rarely intervened directly. This divine detachment wasn't a sign of indifference. It was a reflection of the Sumerians' perception of the heavens, immense, perfect, and untouchable. He was the silent authority that gave legitimacy to earthly kings, who were seen as his representatives. Anu's power was most famously felt in the Sumerian flood myth, where he sanctioned a great deluge to control a noisy and overgrown humanity. This tale cemented his role as a god of immense power, whose favor and wrath shaped mortal destiny. Though later gods like Marduk and Ashur would rise in prominence, Anu's position as the primordial father of the heavens remained. He was the timeless symbol of order in a chaotic world, the eternal sky watching over all creation, representing humanity's first epic attempt to find structure in the cosmos. Ptah, the Egyptian creator god. From Mesopotamia, we travel to ancient Egypt, to the city of Memphis, where a different kind of creator god was revered. Ptah. Unlike gods of war or nature, Ptah was the patron of artisans, architects, and builders. His power wasn't in brute force, but in the profound magic of intellect and speech. According to the Memphite theology, Ptah created the world not through battle, but through the sheer power of his mind. He first conceived of creation in his heart, the seat of intellect in Egyptian thought. Then he brought everything into existence simply by speaking its name. The gods, the world, humanity, all were born from his divine thought and word. This makes Ptah a creator of creators, the unseen intellect behind all tangible things. This creation myth reveals the deep respect Egyptians held for craftsmanship and ideas. In honoring Ptah, artisans and builders saw their own work as a reflection of a divine act. Every stone shaped and every temple built was a tribute to the god who proved that the greatest power of all was the ability to turn a thought into reality. Ptah's legacy endures as a symbol of human creativity. His story reminds us that every great achievement, from the pyramids to the modern world, begins as an idea, a spark in the mind spoken into existence. Enlil, the Sumerian storm god returning to Sumer, we encounter a deity of terrifying and unpredictable power. Enlil, the god of wind, air, and storms. Second only to Anu, Enlil was the executor of divine will, a god who could bring nourishing rains or destructive floods. For the Sumerians, whose lives depended on the volatile Tigris and Euphrates rivers, Enlil was the personification of nature's duality. He was both a bringer of life and a harbinger of death, and he was feared as much as he was revered. Enlil's most infamous story is his central role in the Great Flood. Annoyed by the clamor of humanity, he decided to wipe the slate clean with a catastrophic deluge. It was only through the defiance of another god, who warned the hero Ziusudra, that life was preserved on a great ark. This tale, a precursor to the story of Noah, highlights Enlil's role as a god of harsh justice, embodying the Sumerian people's very real fear of their world being washed away. His temple in the city of Nippur was considered the spiritual heart of Sumer, the place where heaven and earth connected. Kings sought his blessing to legitimize their rule, knowing that true power on earth flowed from this mighty storm god. Enlil's legacy shows a culture deeply aware of its fragility. He was a constant, powerful reminder that humanity exists at the mercy of forces far greater than itself, a raw and honest reflection of life in a world of fragile balance. Inanna, the Sumerian goddess of love and war. Among the earliest gods, few are as complex and compelling as Inanna, the Sumerian goddess of love and war. Later known as Ishtar, Inanna embodies the vibrant and often contradictory extremes of existence. She is the goddess of passion, fertility, and sensuality, but also of strategy, conflict, and ambition. This duality makes her one of the most dynamic figures in all of mythology. Inanna was not a passive deity. She was fiercely independent and unapologetically ambitious. Her most famous myth is her descent into the underworld, a daring quest to conquer the realm of death itself, ruled by her sister Ereshkigal. To enter, Inanna was forced to pass through 7 gates, shedding a piece of her royal power at each one. By the time she reached the throne, she was naked and vulnerable and was struck dead. But Inanna's story doesn't end there. Through the loyalty of her servant and the wisdom of the gods, she is resurrected, emerging from the underworld more powerful than before. This incredible journey is a powerful allegory for transformation, resilience, and the cycle of death and rebirth. It showcases a profound understanding of life's trials and the strength required to overcome them. Inanna's enduring legacy is that of a powerful feminine archetype who embraces all facets of her being, challenging conventions and proving that true power lies in the courage to face darkness and return to the light. Ra, the Egyptian sun god. Finally, we turn to the most central deity in the Egyptian pantheon, Ra, the majestic god of the sun. For the ancient Egyptians, the sun was the ultimate source of life, and Ra was its divine personification. He was the king of the gods, the creator of everything, and the force that maintained order in the universe. Ra's most iconic story is his daily journey across the sky. By day, he sailed in a solar bark, bringing light and life to the world. But at sunset, his journey became perilous. He descended into the Duat, the Egyptian underworld, where he had to battle the forces of chaos to ensure a new dawn. His greatest enemy was Apep, a colossal serpent of darkness who tried to devour the sun and plunge the world into eternal night. Every night in a cosmic struggle, Ra and his divine protectors defeated Apep, guaranteeing the sunrise. This myth was more than just a story. It was a daily reassurance for the Egyptian people. It symbolized the eternal victory of light over darkness, order over chaos, and life over death. The pharaohs were considered his sons, his representatives on earth, ruling under his divine authority. Ra's worship shaped Egyptian culture for millennia, and his legacy as a symbol of hope, renewal, and resilience has influenced countless cultures since. He is a timeless reminder of the unyielding power of light to persist, even after the darkest of nights. Anu, Ptah, Enlil, Inanna, and Ra. These are not just names from a distant past. They are humanity's first recorded attempts to give a face to the mysteries of the universe. In their stories, we see the birth of concepts that still shape us today. Divine order, creation through thought, the struggle against chaos, the power of resilience, and the promise of renewal. These myths reveal a shared human need to find meaning in a world that was often frightening and unpredictable. The gods they worshipped were reflections of their own lives, their fears of storms and darkness, their hopes for a good harvest and a life beyond death. They are a testament to our ancestors' creativity, their intellect, and their profound sense of awe. As we conclude this journey, we see that the quest for understanding the divine is one of humanity's oldest traditions. The stories of these first gods are our stories, a foundational chapter in the epic of human belief. If you've enjoyed this exploration, tell us in the comments which God's story resonated most with you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the myths and mysteries of the past. Thank you for joining us.